Hi, my name is Terry Lee from Sweet Pea Papers and the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group, and today we're going to be looking at the Floral Botanical kit from CollageType. This is going to be my design team project for September of 2022. Now, this is a really beautiful kit with some really beautiful flowers. You can take a look at this one. This is my favorite one, I think. And just to let you know, this particular one I had a misprint on, so I reprinted it at the last minute so I don't have it printed on the back. And I'm not sure that I needed to print these on the back because of what I'm thinking about doing for the project, but I'm not sure yet. So anyway, let's go through the kit. So there's this beautiful flower, and then I love this one as well. And I actually love this one too. I think I love them all. On this one, there's a beautiful rose. And on the opposite side of each one, if you're making a book, which we're not going to make, there's a great writing page on each side. So you got a picture of or you have the flower image on one side, and you have a writing page on the other. Okay? But we're not going to be doing that. We're going to be cutting it up, I think. So here's this one, and this one, which is the same flower as the bigger one I showed you, only a smaller version. And this beautiful red one, and this has some writing on it, but you can still make a writing page out of it. And I printed one of the 8.5 by 11 backing pages on this. And let me look and see. I printed the same one on the back of a lot of them. Yeah, all the ones I've showed you so far. There's one that's similar to this that I printed on a bunch of the pages as well. And we have some roses on this image as well. And then we have a writing page. And then we have our 8.5 by 11 vertical pages. And this one's gorgeous. And this is a backing page. Oh, and these I put the other backing page image on. Look at this one. That one's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And I love this one. If I was making a book, I would make it the cover, I'm sure. Try to add something this time. I'm really bad about adding clusters and things. So I think you guys see the plainer covers and think the whole book is that way, but they're not. So we have this vertical image. We have this nice one. It has the rose, so it kind of goes this way or that way, either way. Well, I guess it would have to go this way because of the picture. And this is the other writing page. And this is the backing page that I used on most of the images. Then we're in the ephemera. We have a whole page of tags. Some of them are square topped and some of them are the rounded design cut. Here's a smaller image of the botanical image, the journal card. There's some pockets, and there's some ephemera that you would attach to the page itself. My dog just walked in and brushed against my leg and scared me. This is a library card. This is a spine for your book, or you can use it as a border or a belly band. And here's some nice fussy cuts for you. And your brother Scan and Cut would cut these out. Now there's a card set that comes separate from this kit, but it goes with this kit. So that's what these are. So you've got all these gorgeous cards. There's quite a few for you. Looks like there's a bigger size and a smaller size. Yep. I didn't notice that till just now. And there's the bigger size again. These are the images that we had on the cover right there. Or not the cover, but the vertical page and the horizontal page. And this one is the same flower, so is this one. And these flowers are beautiful. There's the image we saw before. And then there's these. And then I had a misprint on the backing of these. See, it was the coffee dyed image from a different kit. So that's the kit, and it's gorgeous. And I'm not sure what we're going to do, but it's going to involve a bunch of envelopes. Sorry about that noise. I didn't realize it was going to be that loud. So what you're going to need is a bunch of envelopes, CD cover maybe. I'm not really sure. That's why this video is going to be so short. Normally I would start constructing the project on this video, but I really haven't decided what I'm going to do, but I wanted to get this video recorded so I could kind of get a start in my mind. I've got so far one of these folders that opens like this. They're a little catalog mailer, and this one measures, I believe, 9 inches tall. It's 6, I think, by 9. Yeah, 6 by 9. You get a CD cover, a couple of check envelopes without the security lining. Took me forever to find those. And then a large gift card, or not gift card, but greeting card envelope, and then your smaller envelope. You'll notice these envelopes are white. There is white in this kit. On the backing papers, we're also going to ink them probably with Gathered Twigs or Vintage Photo. I don't know, maybe one of the other browns. I've also got a purple, which goes with some of the flowers, but not all the flowers, so we probably won't use that. I'm looking at my other ones, and I'm not really sure about the other inks that I have, even though I have about 50 different inks. So I'm going to look through them and see if there's something that we might be able to use that would be something other than Vintage Photo, because I'll tell you the truth, I'm getting tired of Vintage Photo and I'd really rather not use it. Okay, I am back. I decided to go ahead and continue video 1, and I know I said I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but then I decided what to do, and then I decided to go ahead and make this a longer video than just the intro to the kit. What we're going to do, well, first let me say this. The first thing that I did was I cut apart the flower and the writing pages. Now, these are the writing pages. Some of them have images on them, even though they're the writing pages, and some of them don't. So, like this darker image here, and some of them are much more plain. Now, we're going to be using these probably as pockets or partial pockets, and we're going to try to use some of these and some of the cards from the add-on kit as pockets and cards, okay? And then we're going to use these as our main pages. Well, you'll see pages, but we're just going to cut them down to the best part if we have to. And in fact, we we will have to on almost every single one of them. So hopefully this will work. Okay, and then I've got the vertical pages, and then I also have the writing pages that have collages on them. I couldn't think of the word for a minute there. So we've got a few of those. Okay, so now what we're going to do is an envelope stack. But we're going to do it a little bit different because it's going to be freestanding. So it's not going to be one that's glued down onto a page, and it's going to be 6 inches wide by 8.5 inches tall. And we're going to use a 9-inch envelope, and then we're going to cut the flap off and make it 8.5 inches. And you'll see about that towards the end. Well, not the end, I'm sorry. Here in just a minute. One of the envelopes that we're going to make or going to use has a couple of windows in it. Now, first let me say there's not going to be a written tutorial for this one because we're going to be doing an envelope stack, which I've done before. You can check other videos for written tutorials on how to do that. Plus, I think from watching the video that you'll have enough information to do it yourself without having to read, a written tutorial, because a written tutorial would just say add envelopes, right? So we're going to take the envelope that we're going to put the windows in, and first of all, I've pre-inked the envelopes. We may have too many here to get through this video series. However, I'm going to be covering quite a few of them off camera, because once you've seen me cover a couple, then you'll know how to do the rest. Okay, so that part actually might make it a shorter series. Now with this one, and I pre-inked everything with gathered twigs, which ended up being a little dark. It actually soaked through. Let me do this right here. It soaked through some of these envelopes because they're not that thick of paper, and I was surprised about that. I'm doing both sides of the flaps, even though we're going to be attaching the flaps to the main envelope. We don't want any of the white to show. Okay, we only want the brown to show. Some of these, or most of these, are going to be cut for pockets, and I wasn't sure whether they were going to be top pockets or side pockets, so I went ahead and inked them all the way around. The pocket that we're going to put the windows in, you're going to take apart. I went ahead and took one apart because I wasn't sure how easy it was going to come apart. This particular envelope that came in the mail, it's a junk envelope, came apart fairly easily, so I decided to go ahead and use that. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 2 triangle shaped windows in this envelope, and I'm thinking I was going to make one and then move the die and make another one, but I think what I'm going to do is possibly just make 2 different sized windows and make it a little more interesting. I don't know though, this one's a little small and this one's, let's see, we could just use the big one. We do have big images for our cards. I was going to make this a 2-card envelope though. Let's just go ahead with my original plan and make 2 windows this size. So we'll have to run it through the Big Shot twice. And the reason that I went ahead and opened the envelope is to make it easier to put the acetate over the windows on the inside. So let me paper clip this back together. So now let's get out the Big Shot. If you remember, my handle came off, and I actually used, because the screw came out, and I didn't have the screw because it was stripped. And just on a side note, I used Fabri-Tac and glued it in there. Who knew? Okay, so we're going to put the main, what do you call it, pad, which is the thick one. Then we're going to do the green one, and then we're going to do the clear one. Then we're going to put the envelope in, and we are going to fold the envelope back over the die. So we're going to have to put it where we want it. Remember to put the blades down. I think right there will be good. And then put it back over. Got those too far in. Well, I can do it this way. And then put this other one on top. Okay, and then let's run this through. I'm almost not having enough room to do this. I know part of it's off camera, but I just don't have enough room. So then that's going to make a window. Now let's do it again, placing the die in a different spot, obviously, where we want it to be. Further down. Let's see. And I think I'm going to put it here. Let's put this top one on top. Okay. I know you can't see that. I'm going to run it through. The die is on this end this time. This envelope is so thin, it's not hard to do the windows at all. Now, it doesn't matter that, that it made the impression on this, because we're going to be covering it. Let's take our die and put it back where it goes. That way we don't lose any of them ever. And I use CD covers so I can see through the window what's inside. I use yucky ones that I would not want to use in projects. Okay, we can put this away now. Don't store this with the blades or the pads sitting inside. It will warp them. They will warp eventually. But it will warp them much sooner. Okay, here we go with this. This is a crazy darker one on these envelopes than I thought it was going to be. Got my hand stuck in there. Durr. And I just remembered, don't want the white to show. You know what I should have done? I should have covered this paper first. Because then, now I'm going to have to try to cut out the paper. All right, I'm going to put you on pause and redo that one. I decided to come back and do this with you. Let's open it up to make sure we're not going to have any trouble. Now, this is a different envelope than this one. So let's see if it's going to open up. Would have been fine had it not torn this right here. I think we can glue it and repair it when we paper it. Let's see what this side does. Plus, I wanted to make the windows facing different directions. Okay, so now by pre-papering it, we won't have to cut the windows out. And see, that makes this one just big enough, just not big enough to paper this with. So let's go ahead and cut the top off. That tore. I grabbed one that was sealed. So we're going to do that one in a little bit anyway. And by cutting this off to be a top pocket, then we will, yeah, that's the end that tore. We will make it the right length that we can put one of these papers on and paper it. Let's see how much of that. Yes, it took the tear off. So that's good. Okay, so now let's go ahead and paper this. We're going to have to re-ink it. Which I said that I wasn't sure what we were going to do. I tried to ink them big enough, but I guess I didn't, you know, far enough in. Oh, but we had to cut extra off this one. All right, let's decide what we're going to use. I know what we're going to use on the front one without the windows. So let's see what we can use with the windows. And that's not going to be any of these probably. If we use something like this, then we could put just one window in the top. That is still too long. What is the deal? All right, we can ink it a little farther and we'll be all right. I hope this isn't a harbinger of what's going to go on. with the whole thing. See, look how dark that made the edge. Gonna go ahead and trim a smidge more off. It's a lesson. Measure once, cut twice, right? I mean, measure twice, cut once. So, if we use that one, which is very pretty, then, so I think all the other ones, the flowers are going to be in the middle. Oh, this one's an option. Yeah, see, I don't think any of these are going to be. Yeah. And then the other one we do is not going to have a window. I think I would rather have this. You may have to make this into a pocket, so that's why I'm going to set that aside. Okay. Yeah, now we're fine on paper. We just need a little more ink. Boy. Okay. I almost did it again. I did. I almost did it again. So let's get this papered. This will make a nice belly band if we need one. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and paper this. Then I'm going to cut it like I just did before, and then I'll be right back. All right, I'm back again, and this turned out fine. Now, the other thing is you end up with this piece that's already covered, right? And it's 2 papers thick. So we're going to put it in our box with our pockets because we only had 2. Not, we probably won't really need more than a couple anyway. And we're going to cut a couple. So that will be fine. Here's our acetate and the paper clip on it so I don't lose it. And now we're going to glue the acetate on here. measure our size. I use a Sharpie for this since it's very difficult to get anything else to write on here. We're going to start with the top a little bit below. Yes, because we're going to have to glue it right at the window. So we're going to mark it here. And then we're going to mark it here. Why is that not writing on there? That's weird. Oh, it's different acetate. It came out of something else. Okay. Oh, yeah, let's make sure that didn't go through. Okay, let's cut this. It's a little bit heavier, too. The other piece was so small I threw it away, but we're going to keep the other half of this one right here so that we can use it for something else. Okay. I should have cut this diagonally. But I'll mark it here. Should have cut that farther in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it around the window, and then I'm going to glue it around that outside square edge. Oh, that just slid. Which is going to be all right. Because it was on the edge that was going to be glued around anyway. So let's put this here. And I'm going to mark where I want the top of the acetate and the glue to go. And then I'm going to glue it on the window here. And then I'm also going to glue it here. Because what I don't want to happen is when you put the card in and out for it to catch on the acetate. So we're going to put some glue here. Where the square part is. Didn't really need quite that much glue. we're going to put glue right along the window. So that it seals the window up. Okay, so we've now sealed around the window so nothing can get in. And then we've sealed around the edge. Double checking with my fingers where any glue might have seeped out. I got a little carried away. Now, when we glue this closed, we are going to also glue it down the center so that we make two pockets. No, we don't want to do that. We're making one long pocket from the top on this one. So we're just going to glue it back together on the bottom and then along here. Now, no, that's incorrect. Strike that. We're going to glue it along the bottom and not across the top and not up here. So all we have to do is glue the bottom shut, because when we put the paper on, then we're going to add glue here and along here to seal it shut. That way we won't make the pocket narrower. So for now, we're just going to glue it across the bottom. Who knew this one was going to end up being just such a pain in the rear? Now we're going to cover the back. I'm wondering, I think I might use one of the collage pages and then use our leftover as a belly band so that it matches the other side. So that's what I think I'm going to do. I have a feeling we're going to end up with several belly bands. Okay, so let's cover this. Catch any places that we may not have inked dark enough or far enough. The problem I'm having is where this overlap. I think we might have a problem along here. Houston, we may have a problem. Okay, now remember, we're going to cover it all the way over here. And we're not making a very large little edge to our borders. So now you know how to fix a mistake. A couple of them probably. And I forgot to ink the paper. So now we're not inking the paper. I'm not going to ink all the rest except for this one. I did ink the window. Yeah, there's no way to go back and do it now. You know what else we have to do? We have to paper this in here. Okay, so we've got this imprint, so that's going to help us. We're going to do that with one of the backgrounds. Wow. I think I should have taken a nap or something. I think I'll do that. And I'm just going to cover this triangle part on the inside. At least I caught that one in time. The other one I had to redo. So we will be building our stack in video 2. Now the reason I did that was so the darker would be in the window. Let's make it just a smidge narrower so we don't have to worry about where we are gluing the envelope back together. The envelope back together. We don't need to ink, well, we're not inking them now anyway, which is fine. The edge is already very dark. I maybe should have picked a more reddish brown, which I'm not sure what color that would have been. Okay. Yes, that's fine. Now let's glue the bottom back together again. Okay, that means that we're going to put this one on this side of our stack. That turned out pretty. Now, gluing this one on, we're going to glue around the edge, being careful not to glue your pocket shut. Now remember, this one you're gluing the envelope. So you have to be careful. Well, I could have glued the paper. And I wish I had. And then just run the bead of glue across here too. So, note to self. Try not to hurry. Now, this is directional. So we want, this is the top, so we want the text right side up. And for some reason, to me, that looks crooked. I apologize. I have no idea. Looks like I glued it on crooked. This will give me some movement space. I have to be careful here not to glue. I mean, all it would do is make the pocket narrower. I can see where the glue goes on the envelope. To be right side up. I think I just didn't glue it on straight. Finally. Didn't think I was ever going to get that glued on. It is too close at the top. But I've put so much different glue on there so many different times. We've got our pocket. And that's our envelope. Finally, and it'll open like this. And put the belly band on. We only have 1 minute. So I'm going to go ahead and, well, we can do it. You've got time. Now, the question is, should I ink the belly band, though? And I think the answer to that is yes. Not as heavily as the edges, but enough so that we can see it against this. I don't think because we didn't glue ink the other papers, that means that we don't need to ink things such as pockets and belly bands and such. Oh my. Okay, you're just going to glue it at the top and the bottom. And then we'll make a card for it, but we won't do that right now. Put it right in the center. That's pretty. We know we're right side up because the writing is right side up on the collage page. Now, it's done except for the card. Okay? All right. So that's it for this video. I feel like I didn't get a lot accomplished. We did talk about some of the other things in the beginning. And then you learned how to fix a mistake in a window. And yeah, so hopefully that will help you out in case you do that. You'll know to paper the first if you're going to cut it out with the crocodile. And I mean, Big Shot. And then do that, and then remember to paper behind before you go to glue the back shut. Okay? All right, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video, and that will be just a second for you and a day for me. Okay, bye-bye.